Oh, hello everyone. Luke here. Um, so yeah, you guys thought I was going to talk about a certain video that came out this weekend. A lot of people were giving the author the person who made the video a hard time because they didn't talk much about Mission Yozakura family. Well, I would have done, except for this chapter being a little bit on the intense and downright insane, creepy vibes. Yeah, let's just get into it. Okay, so this will be chapter 128, titled We're Home. Now, when I first saw this title, I thought like, oh my, we're actually going to go with the go back to the status quo where everyone's going to go home and it's a happy, fun time. But oh, no. The author decided to just do a 180 curve and just basically make this a chapter where Momo explains it all, which is good because we've needed for a while a chapter like this where it's just like, okay, now that I'm here, now that the battle is over, I can finally explain. What's going on. And oh boy, is he gonna be doing some explaining. But first things first, we've got to talk about the color page, which just shows Mutsumi staring at the rain in a reflection and just being really somber about it, which I really love. Like just the colour palettes and just how the rain perfectly contrasts the image that's in colour. That's just a beautiful colour page that we have there. So anyway, getting into the chapter itself, we have Momo basically being as creepy as he possibly can by just being like, well done everyone, well done. So yeah, already giving like eerie vibes off here, Momo. And he's like, I believe you would all get through all of this. And Mutsumi is just like shocked by like, father, what are you doing here? And Momo just says, ah yes. I should just put on my like intense villain voice here because this is just Momo being like yes, I'm taking over now as the main villain. I hope you guys are I hope you guys are all right with that, and if you don't like it, you can get out of here. But yeah, pretty much it's just like, at long last I can say this, we're home, father and mother at home, as he pulls out something incredibly sickening here. He pulls out his wife's beating heart. Let me repeat that. He pulls out his wife's beating heart. So what he did was go to the skeleton island where Tampopo was, go to his wife's corpse, pull out the heart, and basically somehow made it so that it was alive again, but the wife's body is just decimated. And I'm just like, yep, Mission Yozakura is going that dark, going down that dark route, and it just shocks completely everyone to their core, even Koricho. Like you just see Koricho's like face here for the fact that that's not just one person, that is his mother, and you know that shit is getting real when Koricho is the one that's actually being like, okay, yeah, I am sickened by this. Like, that should tell you just how intense and how scary this moment actually is. As Momo continues on explaining, when I recovered her body, she had shriveled up and her heartbeat had stopped. But little by little, its strength restored. Her heart is still small, but look how warm it is, how powerful it is. It's been a long time, but now I can finally do what I've always wanted to do, and I'm going to resurrect the mother. So like this is his plan to like resurrect Ri. Now my theory I had on this was that like since it seems that Momo is trying to resurrect his wife, it's gonna kind of go the same route as Power Rangers Dino Fury, where Fortnite wants to get the Sporks, like get his wife out of the comatose state, and when he does eventually do that in season 2, it turns out his wife has a fascination with the Sporks and wants to use their powers to destroy the world and cause as much mayhem and misery as possible. And that's probably what Ri will actually do. Like she might actually become the main villain and basically usurp Momo, and that might actually be the she might actually be like, okay, yeah, I'm the new big bad. And also as well, like because of this chapter, Firm and Uncontrolled Chaos thinks like, oh, we're heading into the final arc, and not necessarily, because we might get Ray as the main villain, and she might actually be able to resurrect the heads again, but also get the other siblings, like the aunts and uncles, great aunts, on her side, because we still need to know what that's all about as well. And also we need to find out what's going on with the grandmother as well. That's one major thing, and Ban as well. Like what is going on with them two? Where are they throughout all of this? So Momo continues to be in his own delusion of just like, I get to resurrect the mother and we become one big happy family, completely ignoring like just the shocked and disgusting looks on all his kids. Before we get him going into another flashback point in time where he on a day of weakness he offered up his wife and children to Tsubumi, and there's not a day that has been filled with regret from his decision. Now we don't know exactly what his why it was in a state of weakness. Maybe it has something to do with the people that are out there like wanting to destroy the Yozakuras, and Momo went and tried to attack them and failed at it. So this was something that Pyjams was a little bit unsure about, or had a little bit of an issue with. And of course me now doing the Yozakura reviews, I kind of have to give my 2 cents about what is going on here, and I have to kind of just justify it as best I can. So that's the only way I can think about it. Like it ties into what Karicho was saying, and Momo might have gone to sort it out, but actually failed himself and was just completely at a loss for it. And or he might have another thing that might have happened is that Momo's blooming and Simonian might have actually been weaker than his kids, and so that's probably what the state of weakness was, that he felt he was weaker than his kids, and so he was just like, right, if they're going to be stronger than me, then I'm just going to offer them up to Tsubumi. If that's the case, then that makes him even more of a scumbag than he already is. He goes on to say, the only way you would all forgive me if I was to fix what I broke, so I continue to wait quietly for the opportunity to get a family back. So yeah, when he says broke, does he mean kind of like breaking his family? You see, Momo's being so psychologically tormented here that we don't know exactly well, we get an idea of his main plan, but yeah, he's such a mysterious figure and he's so manipulative that we still don't know exactly what all the details to the plan is. Now obviously we've got Kai to be suspicious of as well, so maybe Kai's going to be involved somehow, but we get this awesome spread of just Momo in just complete blackness, going bit by bit. I prepared the stage. Taiyo acquired power worthy of the Yozakura, while Kawashita and the heads who got in the way were eliminated, which doesn't make sense because Momo was kind of on their side to begin with, which again, this all could be coming back into Ray, because if he's able to revive Ray, then maybe he might have not Ray under his control, and therefore get the and therefore she might be able to revive all the heads of the Yozakura in the same way Tsubumi did, and maybe they'll be under her control, but because he'll be the one in control of Ray, he might be able to control them. Them himself, and maybe use them to get the family all together. That's which is pretty much what he wants out. What he wants out of all of this, for the family to be a big old happy family, but to be under his thumb, basically. continuing on, he explains that the bonds between you and between you all siblings have strengthened. But that said, every time your lives were exposed to danger, it hurt me like I was being stabbed through the heart. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did, Momo. Yeah, you're not fooling anyone with that. And he says, but I wouldn't allow myself to fall. After all, this isn't how it was supposed to, it's how it's supposed to be. Believing in one's children is what makes a good parent. Like, no, you have no right to call yourself a good parent, Momo, because you do not believe in your children. You believe that your children just have to belong in happiness, even if that does not make them happy. And yeah, it's not going to make them happy, because they're not going to want to be in this state of like, oh, you revived our mother? Oh, that's great, we could be a happy family now. No, they're not going to like that, because even if they do bring Ree back, this was something that I didn't bring up in the stream and I wish I did, but I'm doing it now, because even if they did bring Ree back, she wouldn't be the same person that they remember her being, and there will be differences as well. I think it's going to be like that scene at the beginning of Full Metal Alchemist where Ed and Al tried to bring their mother back, and yeah, we all know how that went, and it's probably going to be a similar thing here. He mentions that Tsubumi is unable to get her hands on Mutsumi, and the heads have been eliminated. Her life force is continuing to drain, and very soon she'll wither away completely. So basically, Momo is basically saying here, yeah, Tsubumi's going to be out, and I'm going to be taking over as the main villain from now on. But also, he says here that. She doesn't even realise that the roots she used to leech her power from the other heads and the people around her have been reconnected to my wife Ree in heart. So basically going to my idea of like, once Ree is fully back to store, she might actually have the opportunity to take on what Tsubumi is doing, and maybe even to be able to revive Tsubumi and also the other heads, so that we can actually get to see what they can actually do, and maybe get another chance to take control of Mutsumi herself. So yeah, there's going to be this kind of lingering threat in the background of like, is Ree going to be the main antagonist? Since Momo's the main antagonist now, is she going to take over what she's revived? Continuing on with his flashback, Momo says, "Oh, we're almost there, Ree. There's no one who can get in our way. All that's left is it's the fertilizer to make you blossom." She was completely drained of Simonian, and he couldn't let her end up like the other heads, and it was only a tiny amount, but every ordinary person have Simonian in their system day after day. So basically pretty much confirms my suspicion that the Yozakura blood is artificially in everyone is artificially in the air. So that pretty much I pretty much called that, and now it just begs the question, whose other body? Because if we look on the wiki for Simonian Mission Yozakura, sorry about this, guys, just trying to get it up here. Oh, come on. Let's type into the search engine. Come on. Yeah, sorry about this, but like I said, it pretty much means that flaming Nora. Here we go. Blooming. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, it says the blooming is an ability created when the Simonian in Yozakura's blood strengthens their bodies to its limits. But of course, there are other spies out there and other gold ranking spies. So who's to say they don't have blood as strong as the Yozakura family, and therefore might be able to access the blooming if the Simonian gets into their system? Because the Simonian itself is just basically the protein found in the blood of the Yozakura family's heads that grant their offspring additional powers and abilities. But the second head mentioned that once they all died, Tsubumi's blood goes into the air. So maybe this can like I said, it can artificially create a way for others around them to have the powers and therefore be able to activate the blooming if they have a strong enough blood that rivals that of the Yozakura family. So yeah, it begs the question, who else could potentially have the blooming out there? Because he basically says here that everyone has the Simonian in their system. So I'm really glad that I called that. So continuing on, he continues to gather lives, and he felt no regret about it. See, this is the part that's sickening: the fact that he's sacrificing innocent people to bring his wife back, and he has no regrets about it, and he expects his kids to feel the same way as he does, to feel thankful for what he's doing, for creating their happy family circle, which is on top of a mountain of these decimated bodies. So yeah, that just, Molo, you are one sick individual. But not only that, he plans to use, he plans to gather more, which might get into the tens or hundreds of thousands, which is just an even scarier thought, because who knows who he might actually get his hands on? Would it be like friends that they know? Would it, if he gets his hands on Ai and uses her, then he better not touch Ai, because she is precious to Mutsumi and Tayo, and if he did that, then that would just make him, if they actually went there, then that would be one of the darkest things ever, and I don't know how I would feel, but I'm sure more people would be grateful for that. And if that actually did happen, if Momo used the Simonian in Ai to help in resurrecting Ri, then I will be telling Red on Control Chaos, like, hey, they did it. You know how they weren't prepared to do it with Suika? They did it with the kid in Mission Yozakura family. But yeah, that is just a scary thought to have in myself. And of course, Musume is just absolutely petrified by what her father has been saying. She's saying, in order to bring mother back to life, you've involved us and even people who have nothing to do with us, yet basically innocent bystanders. And she says that, oh, for such a dreadful purpose. And Mo was like, don't look at me like that, Mutsumi. Complete strangers who sacrifice are soon forgetful. Time will resolve your confusion and anger towards me. Like, yeah, Momo, just from this chapter alone, has elevated himself up in terms of villain ranks in Shonen Jump, just for the fact that he's trying so hard to justify it and be emotional about the fact that he's being emotional about what he's doing. Like, he really sees himself doing this for the greater good of his family, and wanting to be proud of it, and wanting his kids to be proud of him, and thinking like, yeah, I may be killing off hundreds of thousands of innocent people, but it's all for the greater good, Mutsumi, and you will be thanking me later. So now, give me a smile. And he does like but he does it in like the creepy joke way. Like, I think after seeing that image, I think anybody who was like, I need a drink or I need to take a shower, I think everyone after reading a shower probably needs to take a shower. But yeah, he's saying, now smile, Mutsumi. The family pace and harmony you've always wished for is right around the corner. And yeah, Mutsumi completely petrified at this. And at this point, they're all not standing for it. So Tayo prepares to issue an attack, but Futaba is just like, yeah, you are not doing this now. You have said way too much, father. You are going to get it now. So she tries to use her first scale of spring on him, and mentions like, you destroyed our family and now you want to bring us back together. Stop using convenient insinuating words to try and manipulate us. Do you have any idea how much Mutsumi has suffered? But Flaming Noah, it was getting too intense there that he decided not to showcase at certain panels, so I had to go back in. But yeah, Mo was like, oh, how I know, and he just speed blitz right behind Futaba, grabs her face like this, and with one hand, and grabs another hand, and proceeds to break his daughter's arm, but tried to make it out like A child's pain is her parents' pain, and I will endure it for the sake of everyone's future. So, yeah, you are not enduring anything, Momo. It's all words with you. But I must say, the artwork in this chapter was phenomenal on Momo. If there's one thing I can give Mission Yozakura credit for every week, just gives us one panel that we are all like, yeah, this is amazing artwork. And he says, what? And he continues to say, oh, we haven't sparred in a while at Futaba. I'll let you have a bit of practice. You want to be reminded how strong your father is. And Futaba, just seeing the hand of Momo, is completely petrified. Like, Futaba is one of the more strong-willed characters in the series. I mean, she may act a little bit of child, but in terms of mental stability, she is one of the strongest mentally. And to see her just in this terrifying state, just from the hand of her father, this actually, if this is not proof how threatening and how terrifying Momo is, I don't know what is. And he's so terrifying that even Koichiro, who's someone who doesn't like to interfere in fights an awful lot. He's like, yeah, you are not laying a hand on Futaba, and the thing that really annoys Momo most of all is like, oh, you chipped my hat again, but everyone is just worried about Futaba and her armor. She's like, oh, I'm fine. And Mutsumi's just questioning, like, Father, why? There is so much I want to tell you and ask you, but I can't find my voice. Yeah, I'm not blooming surprised. And so Tayu, seeing his wife in this state, is the one to actually step in and is probably going to speak to Momo in the next chapter, because this is where the chapter is. So really intense chapter. Really glad we got this motivation from Momo, and again, like I said, probably getting up there as one of the better written villains at the moment. I love how he's been a character that we've seen periodically throughout the series, and we haven't known much about him at this point, and now he's finally coming out in full force, showing just how much of a threat he actually is. So yeah, it's not been all build up all for nothing. He has definitely had the skills to pay the bills as a genuine threat to this family. Now, what I think here Tayo is going to say to Momo, it's probably going to be something like, why are you doing this? It's your family. If I could have one chance to go back in time and prevent that accident that caused the death of my family, I would have done that, but I can't do that. So the Yozakuras, they've taken me in, they've nurtured me, they've helped me become the person that I am today, and I am stronger as a result of that. Why would you want to change that? Why would you want to mess all that up, Momo? And this might actually get into Momo actually feeling something even darker. He might have been the reason why Tayo's family is dead in the first place, because we still don't know anything about that. And the fact that he specifically mentioned that this was all part of his plan, Tayo getting the blooming, it's entirely possible that he made it so that Tayo would lose his family, so that the only one that he would actually have any notion of turning to would be Mutsumi. He was probably manipulating the strings to make sure that Mutsumi was kept in contact with Tayo, so that if it should got to a point where he would have to go to the Yozakura mansion and become Mutsumi's wife. Yeah, Momo has been watching over them. He has certainly been watching over them. So he's probably thought like, oh, so this Tayo kid, maybe he might be connected to he might be interested in getting in being part of my plans. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Momo was the cause of Tayo's family being killed in the first place, or to get to this point of him getting the blood in his system. For what purpose in the plan, not entirely made clear yet, but it's going to be something. I feel like it's going to be something incredibly twisted and sickening. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on the chapter. Like, Momo might actually explain next time that it was me that did that to your family, Tayo, and that's going to shock Tayo to his core, basically, and maybe have him be a little bit disheartened and distrusting of the Yozakura family in general, because the father of the Yozakura family was the one that was responsible for the death of his family. Even though he knows that Mutsumi, Koichiro and everyone had nothing to do with it, he might have a little bit of a distrust factor just from that, just from Momo basically being Mutsumi's father. So yeah, whether or not the other goes down that route, we have no idea. But for now, I am quite happy of the way this chapter went. It was definitely my chapter of the week, Paijon's chapter of the week, even despite his problems. Pretty much a lot of people's chapter of the week, except for one particular person, which you all know, kind of brought it up at the beginning of the video. But yeah, if you guys want to go and watch this video, by all means go and watch it. But don't expect him to be talking much about Mission Yozakura family, and he has gotten an insane amount of backlash for that. So whether or not he makes a follow-up video, it's not just from people in general, it's from the unofficial Shonen Jump Twitter account as well. They actually called him out on it as well. You guys probably all know who I'm talking about, but yeah, go and watch this video if you feel like it. But like I said, don't expect him to be talking about Mission Yozakura family for a lengthy period of time. But that's all I wanted to say on that matter. Addressing the elephant in, well, I would say, the elephant in the room. But anyway, guys, what did you think of this chapter? Let me know. Like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. And this will be Lasherluke signing off. Later, guys.